is from day one, it's always been a place where this is just a springboard in some sense to do what we really want to do, which is, open up a retail cafe, but do something in the retail cafe that is really unique as well. There's a lot of restaurants and stuff now doing a pretty good job in Sacramento and all over, as fresh as possible, as local as possible, as seasonal. But no one's really done that in, per se, a really unique cafe type thing. And so for here, we don't need to, we just need to get our name out and get a buzz created. And the less mainstream and popular it is, the better it is, because then it's just this word on the street, and it's more exciting and way more mysterious, which is going to be a good thing for when we do our full-on, retail cafe. And in the retail cafe, it's going to be great. The idea is going to be, well, if we have honey, we want to know the beekeepers, and we want that.
Or we want to be
the beekeepers, If we have chocolate, we just got Ginger, who does couture chocolates, working out of our space now, and so we want to have.
So you're going to plant the artisan concept there.
Every single thing we have, we want to know.
Cured meats.
The family or the guy who does
olives, cheeses, you name it. If we don't do it, we want to know on a first name basis the person that does it. Yeah, I think that the business, the birth of the business, it was so unconventional. You've got no door. You've got a roll-up door. We don't have an entrance. We were in a completely unimproved storage warehouse, but we're making food. We're a cool retail space that isn't even retail. We're not even a retail space. We're two guys that do something that is craftsman-like and artisanal and can be considered difficult to do, coffee roasting and bread baking, and we've never done it before. There's all those things, so I think the fact that it is so unconventional, but in a way that's approachable and accessible. It's not like unconventional, like an unusual piece of artwork that you can't quite figure out. It's like you can kind of figure who we are. We can figure out who we are. We're not that complicated of people, but what we're doing is so different that people, I think, feel free to think new things and talk about them.
I think the idea of throughout America now, there's sort of this coming back to neighborhoods and roots, and you see it, I think anywhere from in Pittsburgh where, there's all of a sudden lofts, coming out of these old steel mills, and this is the new thing, because I think it's a new generation of people that are finally coming together and getting in the position where they have either the money or the education, or that are now becoming, the 40-year-olds who grew up as the kids of baby boomers. Now we're actually starting to be able to come to power and sort of get their ideas out there and not have to answer to anyone and make a new idea and say, I'm rejecting this. And certainly this is not the majority, because you still have, for instance, Rosevilles and strip malls and all that being built just as much as you have other stuff in the inner core sort of being built. But I think the idea of lifestyle and business of bread, for instance, coming back and being the European idea of like getting your daily bread and having it local and fresh is something that's really going to take off and is taking off. And so I think we could set this up anywhere, and if you do a good job and you have not even a good location, we're in an alley, but if you do a good job and it's something unique and you work hard at it, people are going to find out where you're at. Same thing with sort of the idea of rejecting Starbucks to some extent. Now, obviously, Starbucks is going to open 5,000 more stores throughout the world, so there's a want for the Starbucks, but there's also, I think, a growing want of the rejection of all of the mass, and people are starting to see through that, it's not really coffee per se anymore, no matter how much they say it's coffee. They're starting to realize that, there's this other next wave coming where coffee's seen as more of like a wine type, really boutique, really artisanal type thing, and to be able to pair that with bread and tell the story behind the products, people connect to that, you know.